Guardians of the Republic, the shadowy world of Raw. India, a vibrant democracy with a billion dreams, also faces numerous threats. External forces seek to destabilize the nation. Terrorism casts a long shadow. Protecting India from these dangers is the Research and Analysis Wing, better known as RAW. This intelligence agency operates in the shadows, its agents unknown, its missions top secret. Created in 1968, RAW's primary objective is clear safeguard India's national security. It gathers intelligence, analyzes threats, and conducts covert operations. The agency's reach is global, extending far beyond India's borders. RAW agents work tirelessly to identify and neutralize threats before they reach Indian soil. Their work is often dangerous, always demanding and shrouded in secrecy. The men and women of RAW operate in a world of aliases, disguises, and clandestine meetings. Their identities remain secret, their faces unseen by the public. They are the unsung heroes of India's security apparatus, working tirelessly to protect their nation from the shadows. Their successes are rarely celebrated, their failures rarely acknowledged. But the stakes are incredibly high. The consequences of failure can be catastrophic. The lives of millions rest on the shoulders of these silent warriors. RAW's mission is a testament to the enduring spirit of India, a nation determined to protect its people and preserve its hard-won freedom. In the crosshairs, RAW's focus on Pakistani terror groups. For decades, India has faced the relentless threat of terrorism from Pakistan. Groups like Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed operate with impunity. They launch attacks on Indian soil, targeting civilians and security forces. RAW recognizes the danger posed by these groups. A significant portion of RAW's resources is dedicated to monitoring their activities. Agents infiltrate their networks and work to disrupt their operations. RAW's efforts focus on several key areas. The agency works closely with international partners to share intelligence. Despite challenges, RAW has achieved significant successes in its fight against Pakistani terror groups. A nation under siege. RAW and the 2001 Parliament attack. The date: December 13, 2001. The target: the heart of Indian democracy, the Parliament. 5 heavily armed terrorists stormed the complex, indiscriminately opening fire. The attack sent shockwaves through the nation. 9 people lost their lives, and the world watched as India confronted this act of terror. In the aftermath of the attack, RAW swung into action. The agency launched a full-scale investigation, working tirelessly to identify the perpetrators and their backers. Evidence pointed towards Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed, with support from elements within Pakistan's intelligence agencies. The attack was a stark reminder of the clear and present danger posed by these groups. RAW's role went beyond investigation. The agency provided critical intelligence to the Indian government, helping to shape its response to the attack. This included diplomatic efforts to isolate Pakistan internationally and military preparations along the border. The attack marked a turning point in India's fight against terrorism. The 2001 Parliament attack was a defining moment for RAW. The agency faced intense scrutiny and pressure to deliver results. They responded with determination, working tirelessly to bring the perpetrators to justice and prevent future attacks. The attack served as a grim reminder of the ever-present threat to India's security and the crucial role RAW plays in safeguarding the nation. Preventing another Pathankot. RAW's counter-terrorism efforts. The early hours of January 2, 2016 brought another audacious attack. A group of terrorists infiltrated the Pathankot Air Force Station, a heavily guarded facility in Punjab. The attack bore the hallmarks of Jaish-e-Mohammed, once again highlighting the group's ability to strike at the heart of India. RAW's intelligence prior to the attack proved crucial. The agency had intercepted communications indicating a potential attack on a military installation in Pathankot. This intelligence allowed security forces to be on high alert, mitigating the impact of the attack. While the attack resulted in casualties, RAW's timely warnings undoubtedly saved lives. The Pathankot attack underscored the evolving nature of the terrorist threat. Terror groups were adapting their tactics, leveraging technology and exploiting vulnerabilities to carry out sophisticated attacks. RAW recognized the need to evolve as well, to enhance its capabilities and stay ahead of the curve. In the aftermath of Pathankot, RAW intensified its efforts to counter the threat from Pakistan-based terror groups. The agency focused on strengthening its human intelligence network, leveraging technology for surveillance and analysis, and deepening cooperation with international partners. RAW's vigilance and proactive approach remain crucial in safeguarding India's security in an increasingly volatile world. The Kashmir conflict is a complex and long-standing dispute. It has plagued India and Pakistan since their independence in 1947. Both countries claim the region in its entirety. This has led to wars, insurgencies, and a pervasive atmosphere of mistrust. The Research and Analysis Wing, or RAW, India's external intelligence agency, plays a critical role in this geopolitical chess game. Tasked with safeguarding India's interests, RAW operates in the shadows. It gathers intelligence, conducts covert operations, and counters Pakistani propaganda. This propaganda seeks to fuel unrest in the valley. Kashmir, known for its breathtaking beauty, has tragically become a battleground. It faces constant threats from across the border. Militants, fueled by a toxic ideology, infiltrate the region. They aim to disrupt peace and stability. In this volatile environment, RAW stands as India's first line of defense. It works tirelessly to protect the nation from external threats. The agency's role in countering Pakistani propaganda is paramount. It aims to expose the truth and foster stability in the region. Pakistan's propaganda machinery relentlessly discredits India. It aims to internationalize the Kashmir issue. This propaganda takes many forms. It includes spreading disinformation and sponsoring protests. Social media platforms are breeding grounds for propaganda. Pakistan fuels separatist sentiments in Kashmir. They portray India as oppressive to alienate Kashmiris. Twisting narratives incites anger and resentment. Fake accounts spread disinformation, influencing international opinion with false narratives. This propaganda campaign challenges India. It hinders peace and stability efforts. RAW's role in countering this propaganda is crucial. RAW's counter-propaganda efforts extend beyond covert operations. The agency also engages in diplomatic initiatives to expose the truth about Pakistan's role in fueling the Kashmir conflict. This includes providing evidence of Pakistan's support for terrorist groups operating in the region and highlighting human rights violations within Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. RAW works closely with Indian diplomats and international organizations to present a factual account of the situation. They share intelligence, provide briefings, and engage in strategic communication to counter Pakistan's narrative. Furthermore, RAW facilitates visits of foreign delegations and journalists to Kashmir. This allows them to witness the situation firsthand and form their own opinions based on facts. By providing access to credible information, RAW aims to counter the misinformation spread by Pakistan. The agency's diplomatic efforts also focus on building relationships with influential individuals and organizations worldwide. By fostering understanding and cooperation, RAW seeks to create a network of allies who can help counter Pakistan's propaganda and support India's position on Kashmir. Section 4. Behind the Veil, RAW's clandestine operations. While diplomatic efforts play a crucial role, RAW's clandestine operations form the backbone of its counter-propaganda strategy. These covert activities aim to neutralize propaganda networks, expose Pakistani involvement in terrorist activities, and discredit individuals and organizations spreading disinformation. One of RAW's key tactics is to infiltrate Pakistani propaganda networks. By planting assets within these networks, RAW can gather intelligence on their operations, identify key individuals, and disrupt their activities. Another crucial aspect of RAW's clandestine operations is the use of cyber warfare. The agency employs skilled hackers to penetrate Pakistani websites, social media accounts, and communication networks. This allows them to intercept communications, gather evidence of propaganda efforts, and even launch counter-propaganda campaigns. RAW also works to expose Pakistan's support for terrorist groups operating in Kashmir. This includes gathering evidence of financial and logistical support, identifying training camps, and exposing links between Pakistani intelligence agencies and terrorist organizations. Section 5. Triumphs in the Shadows. Key operations and their impact. Since 2016, RAW has conducted several successful operations to counter Pakistani propaganda. One notable operation involved infiltrating a Pakistani propaganda network in the Middle East. RAW agents planted an asset, gaining access to their communication channels. This led to the exposure of several Pakistani agents and hampered their disinformation efforts. RAW's cyber warfare division disrupted a major Pakistani propaganda campaign on social media. By hacking key accounts, RAW exposed identities and dismantled the network. These operations have hampered Pakistan's ability to manipulate narratives on Kashmir. RAW's enduring role in Kashmir. RAW's mission in Kashmir is fraught with challenges, yet the agency has consistently risen to the occasion. Its efforts to counter Pakistani propaganda have been instrumental in safeguarding India's interests. The agency's success lies in its ability to adapt to evolving threats. As Pakistan's tactics become more sophisticated, so do RAW's countermeasures. RAW's investment in technology and human intelligence keeps it ahead. RAW's commitment to countering propaganda is crucial in promoting peace and stability in Kashmir. India faces many threats, both internal and external. Terrorism, espionage, and insurgency are just a few of the challenges that the nation must contend with on a daily basis. To protect its interests and ensure the safety of its citizens, India has a secret organization dedicated to intelligence and security. This organization is known as the Research and Analysis Wing, or RAW. RAW serves as India's external intelligence agency, tasked with gathering crucial information from beyond its borders. Its agents operate in the shadows, often unseen and unheard, but their presence is felt through their actions. They gather vital information, conduct covert operations, and counter threats before they can reach India's borders, ensuring the nation's safety. RAW's existence is not officially acknowledged by the government, adding to its mystique and secrecy. But its actions speak volumes about its unwavering commitment to national security and the protection of India's interests. RAW's primary function is to safeguard India's national interests, both at home and abroad. It accomplishes this through various means, including sophisticated intelligence gathering and analysis. One of its key roles is gathering intelligence on foreign governments and organizations, providing valuable insights to Indian policymakers. Another critical function is conducting covert operations to neutralize threats before they can harm the nation. RAW also plays a significant role in countering terrorism and insurgency within the region, working tirelessly to maintain stability. Its operatives often find themselves working in hostile environments, facing numerous challenges and dangers. They face significant risks and make immense sacrifices to protect India and its people, showcasing their dedication and bravery. The 2000s saw Nepal gripped by a violent Maoist insurgency. The Maoists, inspired by communist ideology, aimed to overthrow the Nepalese monarchy. They launched a brutal campaign of violence. This plunged the country into chaos and instability. The insurgency had serious implications for India. Nepal and India share a long, porous border. The Maoist insurgency threatened to spill over into Indian territory. This could destabilize India's own vulnerable regions. The Maoists gained control of large parts of rural Nepal. They established their own parallel government. They extorted money from civilians. They also targeted infrastructure and government institutions. The Nepalese army struggled to contain the insurgency. The situation created a security vacuum. This vacuum threatened to engulf the entire region. Faced with a growing threat on its doorstep, India could not remain a silent spectator. The situation demanded immediate and decisive action to ensure the safety and stability of the region. RAW, India's premier intelligence agency, was tasked with a critical mission. The stakes were high and failure was not an option. It had to counter the Maoist insurgency and prevent its spread into India. RAW operatives infiltrated Nepal, blending seamlessly into the local environment. They began gathering intelligence on the Maoists, meticulously documenting their movements, strategies, and key figures within the insurgency. They also established contact with key players in the Nepalese government and the Maoist movement. These relationships were vital for gaining deeper insights and fostering cooperation. This intelligence was crucial for understanding the insurgency's strength and strategy. Every piece of information was a puzzle piece in the larger picture of the conflict. RAW's role went beyond just intelligence gathering. It was an active participant in shaping the course of the conflict. It started providing covert support to the Nepalese government, ensuring that the assistance was both effective and discreet. This included training and equipping the Nepalese security forces, enhancing their capabilities to face the insurgents head-on. It also involved providing strategic and tactical advice, helping to craft plans that would outmaneuver the Maoists. The aim was to strengthen the Nepalese government's ability to combat the Maoists, ensuring long-term stability in the region. RAW's involvement was highly secretive. The nature of their operations required utmost discretion and precision. Exposure could have jeopardized the mission and put its operatives at risk. The success of RAW's mission was a testament to their skill and dedication in safeguarding national security. One of RAW's primary concerns was preventing the Maoist insurgency from crossing into India. The insurgency posed a significant threat to national security, and RAW had to be vigilant at all times. The porous border between the two countries made this a challenging task. The rugged terrain and dense forests provided cover for insurgents, making it difficult to monitor and control the border effectively. RAW focused on strengthening border security. This involved deploying more personnel, enhancing surveillance technology, and increasing patrols along the border. It worked closely with Indian security forces deployed along the border. Coordination between different agencies was crucial to ensure a unified and effective response to any threats. They shared intelligence and coordinated operations to intercept Maoist infiltrators. Regular intelligence briefings and real-time information sharing were key components of their strategy. RAW also started working with local communities living along the border. Engaging with the local population helped in gathering valuable information and building trust. They provided them with training and support to resist Maoist influence. This included self-defense training, awareness programs, and resources to improve their security. This multi-pronged approach aimed to create a security cordon along the border. By combining military, intelligence, and community efforts, RAW aimed to create a robust defense mechanism. It was designed to deter and disrupt any attempts by the Maoists to establish a presence on Indian soil. Continuous vigilance and rapid response were essential to counter any infiltration attempts. RAW's efforts played a crucial role in preventing the insurgency from spilling over. Their proactive measures and strategic planning were instrumental in maintaining security. This helped maintain stability in India's border regions. The success of these operations ensured that the border areas remained peaceful and secure, contributing to the overall safety of the nation. Guardians of the shadows inside India's raw India, a land of vibrant colors and ancient traditions, a country where history and modernity coexist in a delicate balance, but hidden in the shadows is a different kind of power, a power that operates unseen yet is ever present. This is the world of RAW, India's Research and Analysis Wing, an organization shrouded in mystery and secrecy. RAW is India's intelligence agency. It is the nation's first line of defense against external threats. Their mission: to protect India from threats, seen and unseen, to safeguard the nation's interests at home and abroad. They operate in the shadows, gathering information and neutralizing dangers. Their work is often invisible, but its impact is profound. Their agents are ghosts, their operations are secrets. They blend into the background, unnoticed and unrecognized. RAW was formed in 1968, a time when the world was on the brink of change. The world was a different place then. The geopolitical landscape was shifting rapidly. The Cold War was raging. Superpowers were vying for dominance, and the threat of nuclear conflict loomed large. India needed a way to protect itself. RAW was the answer. It was created to be the eyes and ears of the nation. They are the silent guardians of India's security. Their work is dangerous, it is often thankless, but it is vital. They operate in the most challenging environments. RAW's agents are highly trained. They undergo rigorous training to prepare for their covert missions. They are experts in espionage, counterterrorism, and covert operations. Their skills are honed to perfection. They work tirelessly, often at great personal risk. Their dedication to their mission is unwavering. The world rarely sees what RAW does. Their operations are classified, their successes often uncelebrated, but their successes have kept India safe for decades. Their efforts have thwarted countless threats. Their failures remain hidden, buried in classified files. The true extent of their work is known only to a few. RAW is a reminder, even in the modern world, secrets hold power. In the shadows, they continue their silent vigil, protecting the nation. High in the Himalayas, nestled amongst towering peaks, lies the Kingdom of Bhutan. This small, serene nation is often overlooked, but it holds a unique charm and mystique. A land of breathtaking beauty and ancient Buddhist traditions, Bhutan is known as the land of the thunder dragon. Its landscapes are dotted with majestic temples and fluttering prayer flags, symbolizing peace and spirituality. But even this peaceful kingdom found itself threatened. The tranquility of its serene villages and countryside was at risk. Militants from India had established hidden camps within Bhutan's dense jungles. These camps were well concealed, making them difficult to detect and dismantle. These groups sought to use Bhutan as a base for operations against India. Their presence was a ticking time bomb, threatening to explode at any moment. They threatened the peace and stability of Bhutan. The tension in the forests was palpable, and the threat loomed large over the nation. The Bhutanese government was deeply concerned. Meetings were held, and strategies were discussed to address this growing menace. These armed groups posed a direct threat to their sovereignty. The very essence of Bhutan's independence was at stake. Bhutan, with its small army, was ill-equipped to deal with this threat. They needed help. The call for assistance was urgent, and the situation demanded immediate action. Facing a common enemy, a secret pact was forged. Bhutan turned to India for help. India responded. RAW was called upon. A shared interest brought the two nations together. India could not allow its neighbor to be used as a springboard for attacks. Bhutan desperately needed the expertise and manpower that RAW could provide. A plan was hatched. A joint operation shrouded in secrecy was put into motion. This was the beginning of Operation All Clear. Section 4, Operation All Clear, The Storm Breaks. The year was 2003. Under the cover of darkness, Operation All Clear began. Indian troops, guided by RAW intelligence, crossed the border into Bhutan. Their mission to eliminate the militant camps and restore peace to the Dragon Kingdom. The operation was fraught with danger. The terrain was treacherous, the enemy hidden in fortified positions, but the element of surprise was on their side. The assault was swift and decisive. Section 5. Victory and its echoes. After weeks of intense fighting, Operation All Clear reached its climax. The militant camps were overrun. Hundreds of insurgents were killed or captured. The threat to Bhutan was neutralized. It was a resounding victory for both India and Bhutan. The success of the operation sent a clear message. India would not tolerate the use of its neighbors' territory for hostile activities. Section 6. A new era of security. Operation All Clear marked a significant turning point in the relationship between India and Bhutan, strengthening their diplomatic ties. It solidified their strategic partnership, showcasing a united front in regional security. The operation demonstrated India's unwavering commitment to the security of its smaller neighbor, Bhutan. For Bhutan, it underscored the critical importance of its alliance with India, ensuring mutual protection. The success of Operation All Clear ushered in a new era of security and cooperation between the two countries, fostering trust and collaboration. It served as a testament to the power of collaboration in the face of shared threats, highlighting the benefits of working together for a common goal. A city under siege, the 26/11 Mumbai attacks. On November 26, 2008, Mumbai faced an unprecedented terror attack. 10 terrorists, armed with automatic weapons and grenades, unleashed mayhem across multiple locations. Targets included the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel, Oberoi Trident Hotel, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus, and Nariman House. The attacks lasted for 3 days, leaving over 160 dead and hundreds injured. The world watched in horror as the events unfolded, shaking India to its core. The 26/11 attacks exposed vulnerabilities and highlighted the need for a robust counter-terrorism strategy. India launched a multi-pronged response, including diplomatic efforts and strengthening security measures. At the heart of this response was India's external intelligence agency, RAW. The attacks underscored the global nature of the threat and the need for international cooperation. Guardians of the Nation, introducing RAW. The Research and Analysis Wing, or RAW, is India's primary foreign intelligence agency. Established in 1968, RAW is responsible for gathering foreign intelligence, counter-terrorism, counter-proliferation, and covert operations. The agency operates under the direct purview of the Prime Minister's office. RAW's primary function is to safeguard India's national interests by collecting and analyzing information about potential threats. This includes monitoring activities of hostile states, terrorist organizations, and other non-state actors. RAW's officers are drawn from various backgrounds, including the armed forces, police, and civilian services. They undergo rigorous training to develop specialized skills in intelligence gathering, analysis, and covert operations. In the wake of the 26/11 attacks, RAW's role became even more critical. The agency was tasked with identifying the perpetrators and preventing future incidents. The hunt begins. RAW's intelligence gathering. Following the 26/11 attacks, RAW swung into action to gather intelligence on the perpetrators. The agency's immediate focus was on identifying the attackers, their handlers, and the support infrastructure. RAW's investigations revealed that the attacks were carried out by Lashkar-e-Taiba, or LET, a Pakistan-based terrorist organization. The agency uncovered evidence of LET's involvement in planning, training, and executing the attacks. This included intercepts of satellite phone conversations between the attackers and their handlers in Pakistan. RAW worked with its counterparts in other countries to track the movement of funds and individuals linked to the attacks. This led to the arrest of several LET operatives and sympathizers worldwide. RAW's intelligence inputs were crucial in identifying key conspirators like Hafiz Saeed and Zaki-ur-Rahman Lakhvi. Global Alliance joining hands against terror. The 26/11 attacks highlighted the transnational nature of terrorism and the need for international cooperation. RAW recognized the importance of working with its counterparts in other countries to share intelligence and dismantle terrorist networks. In the aftermath of the attacks, RAW strengthened its cooperation with intelligence agencies around the world. This included sharing intelligence with the US, UK, Israel, and other countries affected by LET's terrorism. RAW's collaboration with international agencies was instrumental in tracking down key figures involved in the 26/11 attacks. For instance, RAW worked closely with the CIA to gather information on David Headley, a key figure in scouting targets for the Mumbai attacks. Unmasking the mastermind, the case of David Headley. One of the most significant breakthroughs in the investigation into the 26/11 attacks came with the arrest of David Headley. A Pakistani American, Headley had been recruited by LET and played a crucial role in planning the attacks. Headley visited Mumbai multiple times between 2006 and 2008, posing as a businessman. During these visits, he conducted reconnaissance of the targets that were later attacked. RAW worked closely with the CIA and other agencies to gather information on Headley and his links to LET. In 2009, Headley was arrested in the US on charges of plotting terrorist attacks in Denmark. His testimony helped expose the conspiracy behind the attacks and the role of Pakistani state actors in supporting terrorism. A legacy of vigilance, RAW's counter-terrorism efforts. The 26/11 Mumbai attacks were a defining moment in India's fight against terrorism. They underscored the need for a robust counter-terrorism strategy and highlighted the crucial role of intelligence agencies like RAW. In the aftermath of the attacks, RAW has played a pivotal role in strengthening India's counter-terrorism capabilities. The agency has enhanced its intelligence gathering, analysis, and covert operations to counter the evolving threat of terrorism. RAW has also strengthened its cooperation with international intelligence agencies to share intelligence and disrupt terrorist networks. The agency's efforts have led to the arrest of several terrorists and the foiling of numerous terror plots. RAW's legacy is one of vigilance, resilience, and an unwavering dedication to protecting India from terrorism. Deep within the dense jungles of Manipur, a silent threat lurked, waiting to strike. Indian soldiers, guardians of a nation's borders, patrolled with vigilance and determination. They were prepared, or so they thought, unaware of the lurking danger. Out of the green, chaos erupted suddenly. An explosion. Gunfire echoed through the trees, the air filled with the deafening sounds of battle. A carefully planned ambush by insurgents unfolded. Indian soldiers fought bravely, but the enemy had the advantage. Casualties mounted quickly. The jungle floor, once teeming with life, was stained crimson with blood. This attack sent shockwaves through India, shaking the nation. This was not just an attack on its soldiers but on its spirit. It was an attack on its sovereignty and pride. News of the ambush spread like wildfire. Public outrage was palpable. The nation demanded justice for its fallen heroes. The government vowed a swift and decisive response. The time for diplomacy was over. It was time for action. This was a defining moment. India would not be cowed by terrorism. It would respond with strength and resolve. In the shadows, India's external intelligence agency, the Research and Analysis Wing, RAW, swung into action. Their mission tracked down those responsible, find the insurgents. No stone would be left unturned. RAW operatives worked tirelessly, gathering intelligence. They infiltrated enemy networks. They analyzed satellite imagery. Every lead was crucial. Every piece of information brought them closer to their target. The pressure was immense. The fate of the mission and the lives of soldiers rested on their shoulders. Section 4. Ghosts across the border. The intelligence was clear and undeniable. The insurgents had retreated across the border, seeking refuge in neighboring Myanmar, blending into the dense jungle terrain. This was a complex situation, requiring careful planning and strategic thinking. Crossing international borders brought its own set of risks and challenges. A decision was made after thorough deliberation. India would act, but with precision and stealth, ensuring minimal collateral damage. A team of elite Indian special forces was assembled, each member hand-picked for their expertise. These were the best of the best, trained for the most dangerous missions, capable of operating under extreme conditions. Their objective? Infiltrate Myanmar, neutralize the insurgents, and return home before anyone knew they were there, executing the mission with utmost secrecy. The operation was shrouded in secrecy, with encrypted communications ensuring no leaks, a testament to the trust placed in these brave soldiers who risked their lives for the nation's security and honor. Section 5 Jungle Storm Dawn Raid on enemy camps. The mission was critical, and the stakes were high. Under the cover of darkness, the special forces crossed the border. Their movements were silent, their resolve unshakable. Guided by raw intelligence, they navigated the treacherous terrain. Every twist and turn was mapped out meticulously. Every step was fraught with danger. The jungle was alive with unseen threats, testing their nerves and skills. The jungle was their enemy as much as the insurgents. Its dense foliage provided cover but also concealed dangers. As dawn approached, they reached their target, the insurgent camps. The first light of daybreak revealed their objective. The element of surprise was crucial. They knew that catching the enemy off guard was their best chance for success. The commandos launched a simultaneous assault on multiple camps. Their coordination was impeccable, a testament to their training. Gunfire echoed through the jungle. The sound of battle was intense, reverberating through the trees. The insurgents, caught off guard, were quickly overwhelmed. Their defenses crumbled under the relentless assault. The commandos fought with precision and courage, their training evident in every move. Victory was within their grasp, and they seized it with unwavering determination. Section 6. Victory and its aftermath, a safer region. The mission was a resounding success, a testament to the meticulous planning and bravery of our forces. The insurgent camps were neutralized, their strongholds dismantled, and their resources seized. Those responsible for the ambush were swiftly brought to justice, ensuring they could no longer pose a threat. The message was clear and unequivocal. India would not tolerate any attacks on its soil, and any aggression would be met with decisive action. This daring operation sent a strong message to the world, showcasing India's resolve and military prowess. India would not hesitate to protect its interests, even beyond its borders, ensuring the safety and security of its citizens. The operation also highlighted the vital role of intelligence in modern warfare, where information can be as powerful as weaponry. RAW's timely and accurate information was crucial to the mission's success, providing the edge needed to outmaneuver the enemy. In the aftermath of the operation, there was a palpable sense of relief and pride among the troops and the nation. India had shown its resolve and determination to defend its sovereignty. Its soldiers had displayed extraordinary courage and valor, earning the respect and admiration of the nation. And its intelligence agencies had proven their worth, demonstrating the critical importance of their work in ensuring national security. India's Research and Analysis Wing, or RAW, is the country's primary foreign intelligence agency. Established in 1968, RAW gathers foreign intelligence, conducts covert operations, and safeguards India's national interests. RAW's activities are often shrouded in secrecy, reflecting its sensitive mandate. One of RAW's primary focuses is India's immediate neighborhood, particularly Pakistan and Afghanistan. RAW provides critical intelligence assessments to policymakers in New Delhi. This intelligence shapes India's diplomatic strategies and security policies. RAW's covert operations advance India's interests, from supporting pro-India factions to countering terrorist threats. The agency's activities have sometimes been controversial, attracting criticism. However, RAW remains vital for India's foreign policy, understanding regional dynamics, and conducting clandestine operations. The following sections will delve into RAW's support for the Northern Alliance in Afghanistan during the 1990s. The 1990s saw Afghanistan's political order disintegrate. The Soviet withdrawal in 1989 left a power vacuum, leading to a brutal civil war among Mujahideen factions. Pakistan, seeking strategic depth against India, supported the Taliban, who captured Kabul in 1996. The Taliban imposed a harsh interpretation of Islamic law, denying women basic rights and conducting public executions. The international community largely condemned the Taliban regime, but Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE extended recognition. India viewed the Taliban as a Pakistani proxy, fearing it would provide safe haven to anti-India militant groups. These concerns were compounded by the influence of Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence (ISI) within the Taliban. The ISI provided training, arms, and funding to the Taliban. Alarmed by these developments, India sought ways to counter the Taliban's rise. This led to India's strategic support for the Northern Alliance. The next section will explore RAW's involvement with the Northern Alliance. The Northern Alliance emerged as the primary opposition to the Taliban regime. Led by Ahmad Shah Massoud, it controlled a small territory in northeastern Afghanistan. Despite being a formidable fighting force, the Northern Alliance was outgunned by the Taliban. India saw an opportunity in the Northern Alliance as a valuable ally against the Taliban. RAW established contact with the Northern Alliance in the early 1990s. India provided the Northern Alliance with weapons, ammunition, and funding, crucial for their survival. The relationship between RAW and the Northern Alliance was mutually beneficial. India aimed to contain the Taliban's influence and prevent Afghanistan from becoming a safe haven for anti-India militants. The Northern Alliance needed support to fight the Taliban and maintain their resistance. This convergence of interests formed the basis of their partnership. The next section will detail RAW's support for the Northern Alliance. RAW's support for the Northern Alliance was multifaceted, including intelligence, arms, and financial assistance. RAW provided valuable information about Taliban movements and Pakistani support. India supplied the Northern Alliance with weapons, including small arms, mortars, and anti-aircraft guns. Financial assistance helped the Northern Alliance pay fighters and purchase supplies. Delivering these supplies was a logistical challenge due to Pakistan's control of land routes. India relied on airdrops and covert shipments through Central Asian countries. Despite these challenges, RAW maintained a steady flow of supplies to the Northern Alliance. This assistance was critical in sustaining the Northern Alliance's fight against the Taliban. RAW's support helped the Northern Alliance hold their ground and inflict heavy casualties on the Taliban. RAW's support significantly impacted the Afghan battlefield, bolstering the Northern Alliance's capabilities. The intelligence provided by RAW helped the Northern Alliance anticipate Taliban offensives. Weapons and ammunition from India were vital in repelling Taliban assaults. However, RAW's support was limited compared to the Taliban's resources. Despite RAW's efforts, the Northern Alliance remained outgunned and outmaneuvered. By 2001, the Northern Alliance controlled less than 10% of Afghanistan. The Taliban, emboldened by their successes, grew increasingly confident. RAW's support, while not decisive, played a crucial role in ensuring the Northern Alliance's survival. This proved significant in the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks. The next section will explore the legacy of RAW's involvement in Afghanistan. The legacy of RAW's involvement in Afghanistan is complex and multifaceted. India's support for the Northern Alliance was driven by strategic, geopolitical, and ideological factors. India's primary objective was to prevent Afghanistan from becoming a safe haven for anti-India militant groups. New Delhi also sought to counter Pakistan's influence in the region. RAW's support for the Northern Alliance had a significant impact on the Afghan conflict. It helped sustain the Northern Alliance's resistance against the Taliban. The Northern Alliance's survival proved crucial in the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks. The US found a willing ally in the Northern Alliance. RAW's involvement had long-term implications for India's regional standing. India's role in the post-Taliban reconstruction further enhanced its influence. The Sentinels of the Shadows Raw and its Genesis. India, 1962. A year that would forever change the course of Indian intelligence. A wound from a humiliating border conflict with China festered. The need for a dedicated foreign intelligence agency was stark. The nation was reeling from the shock, and the government realized the importance of having a robust intelligence apparatus. Thus, the Research and Analysis Wing, or RAW, was born. Its mission to be the silent guardian, the unseen defender of India's interests. It was tasked with the crucial role of gathering foreign intelligence, countering espionage, and ensuring the nation's security from external threats. Rameshwar Nath Kao, a man shrouded in mystery, became its first chief. His motto, wisdom, courage, and stealth. Kao was a visionary, understanding the nuances of espionage and the importance of intelligence in modern warfare. RAW's operatives were drawn from the shadows. They were the unseen sentinels, operating in the murky world of espionage. These agents were trained to blend into their surroundings, gather critical information, and execute covert operations with precision. Their task was daunting: to gather intelligence, counter threats, and safeguard India's national security. They operated in hostile environments, often risking their lives to protect the nation. From the bustling bazaars of Karachi to the icy heights of the Himalayas, RAW's presence was felt but rarely seen. Their operations spanned across diverse terrains and challenging conditions, showcasing their adaptability and resilience. The agency's early years were marked by successes and failures. Each mission was a learning experience, shaping the future strategies and operations of RAW. It played a key role in the creation of Bangladesh in 1971. RAW's intelligence and strategic planning were instrumental in supporting the Mukti Bahini and ensuring the success of the liberation movement. But the shadows of failure also loomed. Not every operation was a success, and the agency faced its share of setbacks and challenges. The assassination of Indira Gandhi by her own bodyguards in 1984 exposed intelligence lapses. This tragic event highlighted the vulnerabilities within the system and the need for constant vigilance. RAW was constantly evolving, adapting to the changing face of global geopolitics. The agency learned from its past, continuously refining its methods and strategies to stay ahead in the complex world of international espionage. Dragon's breath on the roof of the world, Sino-Indian tensions. The Himalayas, a majestic mountain range, became a bone of contention between two powerful neighbors. India and China, two ancient civilizations with rich histories, eyed each other with suspicion across the disputed border. The boundary lines drawn by colonial powers had left a legacy of mistrust. The 1962 war had left its scars, a bitter reminder of the unresolved issues. Mistrust lingered like a shroud, casting a long shadow over bilateral relations. The 1980s saw a resurgence of tensions as both nations sought to assert their dominance. China, under the leadership of Deng Xiaoping, was flexing its muscles on the global stage. Its rapid military modernization was a cause for concern in New Delhi, which feared a repeat of past conflicts. Border incursions by the People's Liberation Army increased, adding fuel to the fire. The dragon's breath was felt on the roof of the world as tensions simmered. India, under Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, adopted a two-pronged approach to address the growing threat. Diplomatically, she sought to engage with China to reduce tensions through dialogue and negotiation. Militarily, India bolstered its defenses along the line of actual control, ensuring readiness for any eventuality. RAW, meanwhile, was tasked with keeping a watchful eye on Chinese activities, gathering intelligence to preempt any aggressive moves. Arunachal Pradesh, the eastern bastion, a land of breathtaking beauty and strategic significance. Arunachal Pradesh, India's easternmost state, became a focal point of Sino-Indian tensions, a flashpoint in the complex geopolitical landscape of South Asia. This strategically important region, known for its lush forests and towering peaks, shared a long and porous border with China, making it a critical area for both nations. Beijing claimed Arunachal Pradesh as part of South Tibet, further fueling the dispute and adding layers of complexity to the already tense relations. The terrain, a mix of dense jungles and treacherous mountains, posed a formidable challenge for intelligence gathering, making surveillance and reconnaissance operations extremely difficult. RAW needed eyes and ears on the ground, operatives who could navigate the harsh environment and gather crucial information. It had to penetrate the veil of secrecy surrounding Chinese activities in the region. The stakes were high, and the margin for error was slim. Any escalation of tensions in Arunachal Pradesh had the potential to spiral into a wider conflict, drawing in regional and possibly global powers. India could not afford to be caught off guard. The nation's security and sovereignty were at stake. RAW's role in providing timely and accurate intelligence was paramount. Their efforts were crucial in ensuring that India remained prepared for any eventuality, safeguarding the nation's interests in this volatile region. A nation scarred Operation Blue Star and its aftermath. India, 1984. A nation stood divided, reeling from the wounds of Operation Blue Star. The Golden Temple, the holiest shrine of Sikhism, had become a battleground. Prime Minister Indira Gandhi ordered the Indian Army to flush out armed militants led by Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale. The operation's objective was to restore order and maintain India's integrity. The operation was successful in removing the militants, but at a tremendous cost. The sanctity of the Golden Temple was violated, leaving Sikhs around the world feeling deeply aggrieved. The operation ignited a firestorm of controversy, with allegations of excessive force and desecration of their holiest shrine. Its mission to counter the surge of Sikh militancy that threatened to tear India apart. RAW's role in the aftermath of Blue Star was crucial to safeguarding India's national security and preventing further bloodshed. Rising from the ashes, the resurgence of Sikh militancy. The immediate aftermath of Operation Blue Star saw a sharp rise in Sikh militancy. Anger and resentment over the operation fueled the flames of discontent. Groups demanding Khalistan, an independent Sikh homeland, found fertile ground for recruitment. Across Punjab, the heartland of Sikhism, young men and women joined militant ranks. They were driven by a potent mix of religious fervor and a desire for revenge. Armed with weapons smuggled across porous borders, they carried out assassinations, bombings, and kidnappings. These groups sought to create an atmosphere of fear and instability. Their aim was to undermine the Indian government and advance their separatist agenda. RAW faced a formidable enemy, fueled by ideology and equipped to wage a protracted insurgency. The agency had to move quickly to understand the evolving tactics and networks of these militant groups. Failure to do so would mean allowing Punjab to descend into chaos and violence. The Watchful Eye, RAW's counterintelligence strategies. RAW, in the wake of Operation Blue Star, found itself thrust into a high-stakes game of espionage and counterterrorism. The agency adopted a multifaceted approach, combining human intelligence, surveillance, and covert operations to combat the growing threat. One of RAW's primary objectives was to infiltrate Sikh militant groups. RAW operatives, often disguised as sympathizers or disaffected youths, infiltrated these organizations. They gathered vital information on their leadership, plans, and sources of funding. Simultaneously, RAW worked to disrupt the flow of arms and finances to these groups. They tracked down and neutralized smuggling networks operating across India's borders. This involved collaborating with international intelligence agencies to choke off the supply lines fueling the insurgency. RAW also understood the importance of winning hearts and minds. The agency launched psychological operations to counter the separatist narrative. They aimed to expose the true nature of the militant groups and highlight the Indian government's commitment to addressing Sikh grievances. Section 4. Shadows Across Borders. Foreign Support for Sikh Militancy. RAW's investigations revealed Sikh militant groups were receiving support from beyond India's borders. Pakistan saw an opportunity to destabilize its neighbor. Pakistani intelligence provided sanctuary, training, and weapons. They facilitated movement across the porous border. Canada emerged as a hub of support for Sikh militancy. The Sikh diaspora provided financial and logistical backing. This foreign support complicated RAW's task immensely. Section 5. The Price of Peace. Impact on India's security and diaspora. RAW's counterintelligence operations, while largely successful, came at a cost. The agency's tactics raised concerns about human rights violations. Allegations of extrajudicial killings fueled mistrust among some sections of the Sikh community. The fight against militancy impacted India's Sikh diaspora. Actions of a few extremists cast a shadow on the entire community. Sikhs abroad faced suspicion and discrimination. Despite challenges, RAW prevented the situation in Punjab from spiraling out of control. By the late 1990s, the insurgency had been largely quelled. The Indian government restored normalcy through security measures and political dialogue. Section 6. A Legacy of Mistrust. Operation Blue Star's Enduring Shadow. The saga of Operation Blue Star and its aftermath is a complex and tragic chapter in India's history. It is a story of political miscalculations, religious extremism, and the heavy hand of state power. RAW's involvement, while crucial in safeguarding national security, remains a subject of debate and controversy. The scars of that era run deep. The operation left an enduring legacy of mistrust between the Sikh community and the Indian state. It also highlighted the challenges of balancing national security with the rights and freedoms of citizens. Operation Blue Star serves as a cautionary tale about the use of military force in resolving internal conflicts. It underscores the importance of dialogue, reconciliation, and addressing the root causes of grievances to prevent future tragedies. The lessons learned from this turbulent period continue to shape India's approach to internal security and its relationship with its Sikh citizens. 1971. A year that would forever change the course of history in the Indian subcontinent. Tensions between India and Pakistan, simmering for years, finally reach a boiling point. A brutal civil war erupts in East Pakistan, which is now known as Bangladesh. The conflict is intense and widespread. Millions of refugees flee to India seeking safety and shelter. The humanitarian crisis is desperate and overwhelming. India and Pakistan, divided for decades since their independence, are now on the brink of a full-scale war. On December 3, 1971, Pakistan launches a series of airstrikes on Indian airfields. The war officially begins. Both nations rapidly mobilize their armies, navies, and air forces, preparing for a prolonged and intense conflict. The world watches with bated breath as the conflict escalates, with international reactions pouring in from all corners. India, determined to aid East Pakistan's fight for independence, prepares for a multi-front war, strategizing meticulously. The coming weeks will test the courage, resilience, and determination of both nations' military forces. The outcome of this war will not only determine the future of East Pakistan, but will also reshape the geopolitical landscape of South Asia. In the shadows of this conflict, a secret organization operates. The Research and Analysis Wing, RAW, India's external intelligence agency, springs into action. Their mission Operation Goldfinger. RAW faces a formidable task. They must gather critical intelligence on Pakistani military movements. Their focus: the Pakistani Navy's prized submarine PNS Ghazi. PNS Ghazi poses a significant threat to India's aircraft carrier INS Vikrant. RAW must track Ghazi's every move and neutralize the threat. The fate of the war could hinge on their success. The Bay of Bengal becomes a battleground. India's eastern coast is vulnerable to attack. The Pakistani Navy, though smaller, could inflict serious damage. RAW agents work tirelessly. They intercept communications. They cultivate sources within Pakistan. They monitor shipping lanes. The pressure is immense. Every piece of information is crucial. False intelligence could have disastrous consequences. RAW analysts work around the clock, sifting through data, desperate to stay one step ahead. Section 4. The shadowy trail of PNS Ghazi. Tracking a submarine is no easy feat. Ghazi operates stealthily, lurking beneath the waves, but RAW agents are relentless. They pick up whispers of Ghazi's movements. Reports emerge of Ghazi undergoing repairs in Karachi. Then silence. Ghazi vanishes from Pakistani naval bases. RAW suspects it is heading for the Bay of Bengal. The hunt intensifies. RAW agents monitor radio frequencies. They analyze satellite imagery. They pursue every lead. The clock is ticking. Section 5. Ghazi meets its demise. A nation holds its breath. The tension in the air is palpable as the nation braces for the outcome of a critical naval encounter. On the night of December 3rd, a loud explosion rocks the waters off the coast of Visakhapatnam, India. An oil slick appears, spreading across the surface, a grim sign of the chaos beneath. Debris floats on the surface, remnants of a violent confrontation. The sea, once calm, now tells a story of destruction. The Indian Navy dispatches ships to investigate. Their mission: to uncover the truth behind the explosion and the oil slick. The news sends shockwaves through India. Could it be Ghazi? The question lingers in the minds of millions as they anxiously await further information. Had RAW succeeded in their mission? The covert operation, shrouded in secrecy, now stands at the brink of revelation. The nation waits anxiously for confirmation. Divers are sent down, their task daunting yet crucial. The tension is almost unbearable. They discover the wreckage of a submarine. It is PNS Ghazi. The confirmation sends ripples through the nation. The threat to India's Eastern Fleet is neutralized. The strategic victory is monumental, ensuring the safety of the coastline. A collective sigh of relief sweeps across the nation. The people, united in their joy, celebrate the end of a looming threat. Section 6. A legacy forged in intelligence. The sinking of PNS Ghazi remains shrouded in mystery, a tale that has intrigued historians and naval experts for decades. The exact cause is still debated, with theories ranging from underwater mines to internal explosions. But RAW's role in tracking Ghazi's movements is undeniable, showcasing their strategic prowess and dedication. Operation Goldfinger showcased RAW's capabilities on the world stage, highlighting their sophisticated intelligence network. Their intelligence gathering proved invaluable to India's victory, providing crucial information that turned the tide of the war. The war ended on December 16, 1971, marking a significant moment in history. Bangladesh, finally free, emerged as an independent nation, a testament to the resilience and determination of its people. RAW's contribution to this historic event cemented its place as a premier intelligence agency, earning respect and recognition. The legacy of Operation Goldfinger continues to inspire new generations of RAW officers today, motivating them to uphold the values of bravery and intelligence. The Research and Analysis Wing, or RAW, is India's external intelligence agency. It was formed in 1968. RAW's primary function is to gather foreign intelligence. It also counters espionage by other countries. Protecting India's interests abroad is a key part of its work. RAW plays a vital role in safeguarding national security. RAW's operations often involve covert activities. These activities are secret and sometimes dangerous. RAW officers work undercover in many countries. Their efforts help India understand threats and make informed decisions. RAW's work is crucial for India's safety and well-being. The agency has been involved in many important operations. These include counterterrorism and counterinsurgency. RAW played a key role in liberating Bangladesh in 1971. It has also been active in combating insurgencies in northeast India. RAW's contributions to national security are significant and often unheralded. Northeast India, a region of diverse ethnicities, has witnessed prolonged insurgencies. Among these, the Naga and Mizo insurgencies are most notable. They emerged in the post-independence era, fueled by demands for autonomy and independence. The Naga insurgency, led by the National Socialist Council of Nagaland, or NSCN, has been particularly protracted and violent. The Mizo National Front, or MNF, spearheaded the Mizo uprising, demanding a separate Mizo nation. The Indian government responded with military deployments. However, the rugged terrain and public support for insurgents posed significant challenges. These insurgencies caused widespread instability and violence in the region. They disrupted normal life and hindered development. The Indian government sought to address the root causes of the conflicts. However, finding a lasting solution proved elusive for many years. The Naga and Mizo insurgencies were complex and deeply rooted in historical grievances. External factors such as support from neighboring countries further complicated the situation. RAW's involvement in the region aimed to understand these complexities and counter external support to the insurgents. The Naga and Mizo insurgencies were not solely internal matters. External actors, particularly China and Pakistan, exploited the situation to further their own strategic interests. They provided arms, training, and safe havens to the insurgents. China, having fought a border war with India in 1962, saw an opportunity to keep India engaged in its own backyard. It provided sanctuary and training to Naga rebels in its Yunnan province. Pakistan, locked in its own rivalry with India, also saw the potential to destabilize India's northeast. These external actors fueled the conflict, making it more violent and difficult to resolve. Weapons and training from China and Pakistan strengthened the insurgents. The support from across the border also provided them with a sense of security and emboldened their stance. The porous borders of the Northeast provided easy passage for insurgents and the flow of arms. This external support prolonged the conflict and posed a significant challenge to India's security. RAW's role was crucial in infiltrating these networks and gathering intelligence on foreign involvement. In the intricate web of global intelligence, RAW's infiltration and intelligence gathering capabilities stand out. With a network that spans continents, RAW has managed to gather crucial information, often from the most inaccessible places. The agency's operatives work tirelessly, often under deep cover, to ensure that India remains informed and prepared. Their efforts have not only thwarted numerous threats but have also provided invaluable insights into the workings of various hostile entities. This relentless pursuit of intelligence is a testament to RAW's dedication and expertise in safeguarding the nation. Beyond the shadows of covert operations, RAW has played a pivotal role in fostering peace. By providing critical intelligence that has helped avert conflicts, RAW has been instrumental in maintaining regional stability. Their behind-the-scenes efforts have facilitated diplomatic negotiations and peace talks, ensuring that dialogue prevails over discord. The agency's work in this realm is often unacknowledged, yet it is a cornerstone of India's foreign policy and a key factor in the country's standing as a promoter of peace. Over the decades, RAW has built a legacy of unwavering service to the nation. From its inception to the present day, the agency has evolved, adapting to new challenges and threats. The men and women of RAW, often unsung heroes, have demonstrated exceptional courage and commitment. Their sacrifices and successes have shaped the course of India's history, ensuring the country's security and sovereignty. As we look to the future, RAW's legacy of service continues to inspire and protect, embodying the spirit of dedication and patriotism. Let's talk about a job most folks don't see: espionage. RAW, India's external intelligence agency, is like the silent guardian, the watchful protector. They work in the shadows, gathering intel and neutralizing threats. Think James Bond, but with less fancy cars and more real-world grit. Their job is to keep India safe, and sometimes that means lending a helping hand to their neighbors. In 2003, that neighbor was Bhutan, a small, peaceful nation nestled in the Himalayas. Bhutan found itself facing a big problem: insurgents. That's where RAW stepped in, quietly, effectively, and with a whole lot of know-how. They were about to get their hands dirty, in a mission most people never even heard about. Bhutan, known for its stunning beauty and peaceful Buddhist culture, was facing a growing threat in its southern jungles. Groups like the United Liberation Front of Assam or ULFA and Bodo militants had set up camps, using the dense terrain as a hiding ground. These weren't just local troublemakers, they were armed, organized, and had a history of violence. They threatened the peace and stability of Bhutan, launching attacks and spreading fear. For a small nation like Bhutan, this was a serious problem. Their army, the Royal Bhutan Army, was brave but lacked the experience and resources to deal with this new kind of threat. Something had to be done, and India, as a close friend and neighbor, was not going to stand by and watch. This was a job for RAW. RAW doesn't just barge in guns blazing. Their approach is more surgical, more about strategy and skill. They knew that for Bhutan to win this fight, they needed to empower the Royal Bhutan Army. So, RAW provided specialized training. They shared their expertise in jungle warfare, intelligence gathering, and counterinsurgency tactics. They helped the Bhutanese soldiers become a more effective fighting force. But it wasn't just about combat. RAW also provided crucial intelligence. They helped identify insurgent hideouts, supply lines, and leadership structures. This gave the Royal Bhutan Army a crucial advantage, allowing them to target their operations with precision. Section 4. Operation All Clear, a decisive victory in the jungles. In December 2003, the Royal Bhutan Army, now trained and equipped with RAW's support, launched Operation All Clear. It was a decisive move to flush out the insurgents from their jungle strongholds. The operation was a success. The insurgents, caught off guard by the Royal Bhutan Army's newfound skills and intelligence, were quickly overrun. Their camps were destroyed, their supply lines cut, and their leadership neutralized. It was a testament to the effectiveness of RAW's support and the courage of the Royal Bhutan Army. The insurgents were driven out, and peace was restored to Bhutan's southern borders. Section 5. Strengthening bonds, the impact on India-Bhutan relations. The success of RAW's mission in Bhutan went beyond the battlefield. It solidified the already strong bond between India and Bhutan. It was a clear demonstration of India's commitment to its neighbors' security. Bhutan, in turn, recognized the invaluable support provided by RAW. The shared experience of facing down a common threat brought the two nations even closer. This cooperation wasn't just about military might. It extended to other areas like development, trade, and cultural exchange, further strengthening the ties between the two Himalayan nations. Section 6. A safer neighborhood, ensuring regional stability. RAW's role in Bhutan's counterinsurgency operation had implications beyond just India-Bhutan relations. It sent a strong message to other insurgent groups in the region. It showed that India was committed to maintaining stability in its neighborhood and wouldn't tolerate groups that threatened the peace. It also highlighted the consequences of using neighboring countries as safe havens. The operation's success contributed to a safer and more secure South Asia, a testament to the often unseen but crucial work of RAW. It's a reminder that sometimes the toughest jobs are the ones done quietly, behind the scenes, with skill, dedication, and a little bit of dirt under the fingernails.